Month marks a decade since the forces of the African Mission in Somalia, AMISOM, set foot inside the country to counter the shabaab terror group. Now, the African Union has begun the process of safely putting out troops from the 5 contributing countries with the hopes that lasting peace will be spearheaded by international or internal forces within Somalia federal government. KTN's Timothy Otieno has just returned from Somalia with the following report.
Somalia's capital city, Mogadishu, is slowly but surely regaining peace for a city that just a few years ago hosted the region's most dreaded terror group. But not until these men and women from the AMISOM peacekeeping troops set foot inside Somalia back in March 2007 did the battle to redeem a country that underwent 2 decades of civil strife begin. And now the African Union says it's time troops exited the battlefront and went back home to their respective countries.
This engagement and conversation is ongoing, but where we stand as African Union, we really want to hear more from the government of Somalia on the way forward and want them to have the energy they need, and we'll be able to give the backup.
The country, with troops from Kenya, Uganda, Ethiopia, Burundi and Djibouti, has seen more than 7 major towns liberated, including Baidoa, Kismayo, Barawe and Mogadishu. But not without its fair share of casualties. On this day, none other than the chair of the African Union Security Council is in Mogadishu to lay wreaths in honor of the fallen troops of the 10-year peacekeeping process.
The war against Al-Shabaab is succeeding. To a very large extent, the backbone of Al-Shabaab has been broken.
The number of military casualties remains largely unknown, but some believe it could be ranging to about 10,000 fallen troops over the last decade. The cost of this mission has been high. Even though towns like Mogadishu have less than 10% of its control still under Al-Shabaab's grasp, that has not stopped the group from conducting sporadic attacks within the capital, with the latest one just 3 days ago when a suicide bomber detonated a car bomb near the presidential palace.
What you see, those are kicks of a dying horse, and I mean it. That's why they no longer have territories that they control. They have no capacity to push back the SNA and the AMISOM forces.
The city of Mogadishu falls under Sector 1 of the AMISOM peacekeeping forces that is mostly managed by the Uganda People's Defense Forces, consisting of over 3,000 men and women. Now, using such armored vehicles, they conduct regular patrols both day and night to ensure peace and security within Somalia's capital. And indeed, that peace perhaps resonating within the busy streets of a nation seeking a lasting solution to a perennial problem. And now, AMISOM, whose initial mandate was just to spend 6 months inside Somalia, has seen more than 50,000 troops dedicate their lives to restoring sanity along the streets of this country in an exercise costing the African Union and the United Nations more than $10 billion, just over 1 trillion Kenya shillings. The African Union is now projecting that by October 2018, every single foreign soldier will return home, leaving the peace and stability of Somalia to be determined by its over 12.3 million residents. Timothy Otieno, KTN News.